even if you think that you don't have anything to talk about, if you're running a business, you do. So,
Absolutely.
especially a construction business. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I am Nate, joined with Nir Berkovich, CEO of Soho Construction. And today we're going to be looking back into our own past of the last few years doing construction, starting the company, running the company, all the millions of ideas we've had, to take a look back to say, if we were going to start over today, what would we do differently? What would we do the same? And some of the things that we've learned. So I think the most important is, let's put ourselves in that position. We just woke up. Today's the day. We're getting to work. We're saying we're going to start this Soho thing. From that day, what are, let's say, steps one? What are the biggest things that I think we should at least think about, go for, do in general?
Jump right on it, right? First, I feel like this topic is dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
When we come from me and you kind of started this thing and worked our butts off to make something going on here. So looking back is what we do every day, looking forward in some game of future and past, and it's dear to our hearts. It is dear to my heart for sure. So I'm speaking from my guts right now, out of my guts, just about everything that was going on with this company, in good and bad. But I guess to your question, woke up today.
Yeah. Today's day one. Yeah.
What I know now, I wish I knew back then, is probably like a couple of things, but definitely understanding the organization chart that will work for Soho. Who are the people we actually need to perform and operate that system? The second thing I'll say we can and we'll touch on all of it, but understanding the numbers, understanding what creates a financial stability for us as a firm, and just put one statement in place. Don't try and be a catch-all kind of guy just to get things going. I guess that's the nature of a new business. You're trying to get things going, but with what I know today, I think it will be a much shorter version of progress to just say that's what we do. And that's what we do today is what we could have said we're about to do back then.
Yeah. I think at the beginning, it's really tough because if you're waking up and get into it, your options seem endless, right? It seems like I could take on any project. I could do this small one. I could do this big one. I could do this. I have these guys. I can hire whenever I want. I can do anything to make this work. And then in theory, yeah, that makes sense. It's there. But in practice, you actually start to stumble upon everything that you've tried to build because you're working one project one way, saying the company does this. And then you try to go, well, I've got this other project that's a little bit bigger, so then I have to do these other things on this project. So you start to treat all of your projects differently, and the operation for all of them is differently done. So it's like you as the individual might go, well, this is how I sold that, but then the way the rest of the company that you build around you is operating is completely different, and they're confused, and they're like, I don't know, if I'm confused, the client must be confused, or Soho must be confused.
Confused in the beginning.
Yeah.
No one knew exactly where we were heading, and it's much more clear nowadays. But we also didn't know what works for Soho as a thing, but for us as individuals.
Yeah.
Well, people here were very vulnerable to come and talk about what they see not working, even for them personally. I don't like doing it, or I don't think that's a good way of practicing business. Let's change it. So it takes time, but
yeah. No, it takes time. And I think if anything from this podcast, hopefully if you're listening or watching, that in the next 10, 15 minutes, we can just take a culmination of your next 5 years and dumb it down to don't waste 5 years, start this path this way. It's going to lead to success. I mean, if it's worked for us, it's going to work for somebody else, right? So I think that's always nice to hear, and hopefully this episode will bring some of that clarity.
All the young people trying to start a company. I mean, podcasting is a great tool.
Yeah,
for you to just listen, let people filter, their brains, put their hearts into a 1 hour 30 minutes conversation. But it's a great platform. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a trip down memory road or lane and go to the first year when we were starting. I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but in reality, we had, let's see, it was the two plus Paige plus Brandon, Fernando, Nate, Catherine. We had kind of a mix of people that were all thrown together, and it was kind of what we were talking about earlier. Everybody did everything, and then
nothing was done.
Nothing was done. Exactly. And everybody thought, well, the way I want to do it is a little bit different than what you're doing, so I'm going to do my way because my way is working for my individual time and path and things I'm working on. But it didn't feel like we had a lot of common.
It wasn't organic. I mean, the machine was built out of 10 great pieces. Let's just put it that way. 10 great pieces that can do 10 great things each one. So it's 100 great things. But each one of the items is like it's 70%. Capacity or ability,
efficiency,
whatever you want to call it. Now it's maybe same amount of people. Each one gets way less tasks what they're doing at 100%. So the machine somehow operates a little better.
Yeah.
Plus, we have who is responsible for each one of the things. It's very clear to say, you're doing coordination, I'm doing sales. And there are a couple of things between really me and you, Nate, not no one else, that acts as development. If it's a little HR, if it's hiring, firing, if it's because we're small, so we gotta wear, me and you, maybe a couple more hats, but even between us, we're not doing as much as we used to do, and like trying to develop that thing from the ground up, right?
But I think it also helps with the things that we actually didn't know. I know a lot of times you want to kind of take it on, and I'll put my mind into it and figure it out, but sometimes that's not the right answer, right? Like I feel like we've each done certain tasks where we assigned ourselves a task or said, oh, I'll take that on, and then try to do it our way, and then ran into so many stumbling blocks.
I agree.
And then when we finally gave it to somebody who that's what they're good at and what they know how to do, super efficient.
Yeah. And we got to a frustration point, and I guess, when I was like thinking about what to answer to some of the questions here. So the second, a lot of things that I was typing in, maybe I'm not going to use like on the podcast, but the second thing you just touched, we were trying to hold divine ourselves in every little thing instead of like surrounding ourselves with great consultants, great professionals to give us, if it's on a sub base or in-house, to do what they do best and delegate that with a full heart, without looking back.
Yeah.
And trust them. And we're doing it much better now.
Yeah. But I think it's good to have that, right? You want to be able to say like, I'm going to move forward and move this task from not started to at least it's started. It may not function well, but at least it's going. But then when you do start to see yourself in that position where you're like, it's really clanky. This is not clean. It's not running perfectly. I think moving it to somebody else, even if it's just a consultant to come say, hey, take a look at my business, how I'm doing this right now. Like, just give me 5 good things I could work on and change and implement. They might have 5 ideas you've heard a million times, and then you might actually try one of them and go, oh, I should have just tried that from the beginning instead of just thinking my way would work. Yeah. Where some days, your way does work and it's fantastic and everything runs clearly, but most of the time you find leaning on someone else is super helpful. Leaning on, Jenny from marketing, for example, has been helpful for our website, anything that was related to branding. Those are all things that you're like, I could do it. And then, reality maybe is not the best. So I think if you're getting into it, even if you've been in this a long time, I mean, there's a lot of people who've been doing construction for forever, and business kind of just stagnates. They're always doing the same. They're always like, I wish I could grow. I wish I could get this good job. I wish I could continue to make money on all these big jobs. Sometimes it is as simple as, maybe I'm taking on a little bit too much, and maybe there's another person who's a little bit better, or I can lean on and take some swings with a new approach. But in doing all those things, you eventually will run into stuff that no matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you think about it, no matter how many YouTube videos you watch, podcasts you listen to, contractors you talk to, you're going to run into a project and something completely new is going to happen that you've never experienced and you don't know what to do. So for us, I think it'd be good, helpful we run into a lot of different things that we didn't know we'd ever run into. Maybe there's 1 or 2 that you could talk about that maybe surprised you.
I mean, construction is built out of a lot of different moving parts. So with that being said, you're going to have a lot of fires to put down, and it's a lot. I mean, I was thinking to myself, okay, we're we're taking on this project and we're just gonna plan as much as possible and get it going. But then you find yourself like putting down fires all day. And I think what's surprising me is not that we got fires, it's just the amount of them. The amount of things you gotta mitigate, you gotta work throughout and dig yourself out of the mud. Sometimes it takes a couple hours, sometimes it takes a couple of days, sometimes it takes a year to get you digged out. So every mistake costs a lot here in construction, that's for sure. Which kind of leads me to more things that I was not prepared for, like the amount of stress I believe that the industry is bringing into to your life. Is just you gotta learn how to control that stress. It's not gonna eat you, and yeah, you gotta put yourself into a healthy mindset to be able to control that stress and the amount of fires coming in. I was just not prepared to the amount of drama.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a movie sometimes, and
This is
not a
reality
job.
to
It's
you.
like, that's
sometimes.
reality. You know, that's what I deal with every day when people are asking me, "What do you do for a living?" or how try and detail a day in your life. And I was like, the amount of things I do a day is it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Sometimes it's one big thing, but sometimes it's like 2 million little things. It's just insane.
And sometimes I think the biggest thing for me that I was unprepared for when we first started was no matter, even if you over prepare before the project starts, one person just not showing up, not calling, they've got another thing that was more important that didn't answer to you. You can spend a whole entire day sometime calling all these different people to try to find one person who's supposed to be doing something to figure out where are they, and how can I get them back to this project to finish this thing because we're stuck. Yeah.
Here's me. That's a fire. The coordinator, as good as she is, and she's amazing. We got one of the best coordinators on planet Earth. I can guarantee tons of potential, great personnel. Sometimes, you got to step in. You got to say, hey, little tile guy, where you at? Why you're not responding to my coordinator? And when it comes from you, sometimes it is helpful. That's a fire that's just you as a CEO or you as a, higher up or somebody he knows control their funds or whatever it is. Whatever, it is. Well, then you got to step in. And I was not prepared the amount of times I got to switch.
Yep.
I'm in, out.
Yep.
That's just you gotta be on call. You gotta be there. You gotta show up for.
Yeah, you gotta
team.
be on call and then even keeled when you get called in. So I think that's also another thing. You get called in and your initial reaction is jump, hot tempered. Why aren't you answering? Why aren't you doing this? But then also it's like, okay, is there something else going on? Is this is this the craziest priority? Like obviously we need to get it done, but let me.
I agree.
Slowly figure it out, and
Brief,
then brief, step back, take a second, figure it out, but then be firm and say, I understand, I need this done. And
you also want to keep your relationships, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to look like a whole fresh out of the boat and come to your subs and a little thing that can happen to them. Let's say it's their foreman, that's his apprentice that left the job site messy right now. You are communicating to the head, to the tile guy owner, for example, the tile company owner, and you're telling them what's going on, and you cannot show so much stress. It's just a little job site, it's a little dirty. Okay, clients are complaining. Don't be crazy about it. Fix it quick, right?
Yeah.
But don't show that you're a cook.
Yeah. It'll turn everybody off. It eventually always does. It comes back to bite you. Yeah.
It's that's not how it works.
Yeah. So I think that also is a good point of like at the time you start, you don't know what's the most important thing, right? And what's going to matter most. One of the questions we got is, what did you think would matter most back at the start that actually didn't really matter?
Yeah, I think it's a quality over quantity. I think in everything, it's the amount of projects you're taking, the amount of people you're hiring, the amount of subs you're keeping a relationship with, the amount of designers and architects and industry partners that can feed you a job and you can do the same for them. And it is a healthy process of growing, allowing yourself using better subs and charging your clients a prime for it. And also show up to a meeting, a design meeting or a bid meeting or, even referral meeting with a designer she's a hot shot, you want to work with her. When you just start, you don't have the tools, you don't have the portfolio to show what you can do. So now when I understand that we're shooting to a lot of different directions, in all aspects. I understand that narrowing down, scaling back, understanding who do you want to work with, what's your organic team should look like, but also what's the big picture of people you're surrounding yourself with should look like, and go on quality, double down, just double down quality, and keep on pushing there, because that's the only thing that will give you some stability instead of like the one-off project from that designer that's gonna make your life really miserable.
Yeah.
You better just go to the best of the best and work on that relationship as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Keep them happy as much as possible.
Yeah, because I almost guarantee if you go with the just pure quantity, give me as much volume as possible
Just
route.
not what we do.
Yeah,
It's
but
good
if
for
you
other
do,
firms, but it's just not us. Yeah.
I'm just curious, but I would encourage you to just go to your job sites and then take a look at your projects and the finish. Just look at the finish. Look at the drywall, look at the corners, look at how it's painted, look at like just the details in the house, and then just kind of ask yourself, like, is this really 100% quality? Like, is this as best we possibly could have done?
Yeah, I'm going back to the
Or not.
statement. I'm just going back to the statement.
Yeah.
Your statement should lead all of your decisions.
Yeah.
If the statement is small and quality, all the other things you got to do should be small and quality.
Yeah.
The things you post on Instagram, the subs you're selecting should be small teams, but with a family orientation to them. You cannot go to the biggest drywall company and hopefully you don't know their installers. Now I know my painters. I know the youngest brother. I'm raising this guy up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just the quality and when you see something in good quality, it doesn't matter what the price is. It doesn't matter. Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold to it.
Yeah. No, you just keep it going. They'll grow with you.
Keep
too.
going. They'll grow with
And
you.
they'll
They'll
learn,
appreciate
and
you.
they'll
They'll do the extra mile to keep you happy with the quality tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So good advice overall of at least the first day going in there. For us, I think people think about this all the time. It's like you do get the, oh my gosh, I have to be so careful. And there's a lot of people who don't start businesses because they're afraid of, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do this thing. It's going to end everything. And people are going to laugh at me, yada, yada, whatever it is, right? I'm going to go out of business. But it is one of those things, if you do focus on the quality part, you're going to get more projects and you're going to get stuff that can sustain you through the mistakes you'll eventually make. You're inevitably going to make mistakes in this industry. We all do. But for us, I think what would be one of the biggest mistakes that you feel today that you made, that what we know now from learning from the mistake, obviously, would I not have done.
Yeah, correct. Mistake that led into a protocol or not even a protocol, a way of life here is not scoping out to the best of your ability with the time frame given a project. So we got into that project, no names, it was the Lucadia one. Let's just put it out and about. Great guy, love him, dear friend of mine. But the scope was not defined by the architect, designer, and definitely was not verified to the smallest detail by me. And we kind of jumped on that project, started out with not a lot of details. And what happened there and why it is a mistake is because it kept us there probably a year longer than it should. If I would go into that project one more time, I would have taken maybe 3 more months to just scope it out and be out of there in 9 months earlier. So if the whole thing is like, it took me 2 years, it could have taken me like a year and 3 months. And by 3 months of scoping it and not put everybody on, because it's not just the time, it's the time and the amount of time you run around yourself, pretty much trying to chase your own tail and rat, but you don't know what you're chasing. So that's the biggest, I think, that cost me in time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're talking about money, it's probably going into not scoping your client the best possible. So going into a relationship with the wrong client, and can be on the opposite end, saying that everything was scoped out, project looks perfect, and you're kind of ignoring personality red flags that came out of your clients and the way they behave and the way they react and the way they align themselves into your process, and you're moving forward with them. That will cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel, because you're not going to find common ground. So
Yeah. No, that's true. We touched on that a lot in the last episode, but I think that's true. I think on my end, if I had to think of anything right now, that'd be like, sometimes you just really got to put your foot down on things
Right.
when you know you have a process that works, and allowing somebody else to say, yeah, but I need it this way. And then you say, okay, I guess we can stretch and move our process out of the way for your specific situation. We'll get back to it later. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Did that in Rancho, and that project running smooth. We knew that we needed elevations. We knew we needed dimensions. We knew that we needed it all called out. Yet when we didn't see it happen, we said, well, we'll start the project anyway. We'll get them. It'll come eventually. Never came.
It's collateral. Like
and
you're making the entire system to collapse. You're making your coordinator to collapse because she's chasing your, she's doing your job, and then the PM, you're losing credibility. It's like the whole thing isn't working because one little thing.
Yeah. When at the end of the day, I could have just gone back and taken the 3 weeks and said, no, we're going to get this dimension out in 3 weeks.
You're going to live in your beautiful enough home for another 3 weeks.
Yeah. And it will be worth it and not be the headache that it was. So I think
you smiling, and it's like a domino effect. Whatever you do. Whatever you do.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, on that point, on that topic of mistakes, obviously, again, at the beginning, you'll make a lot. It's normal. It's standard. It's what happens. But you do reach a point where you kind of go, okay, I don't like that. That sucked. I didn't enjoy this. There's something not running smooth. There's something that's keeping me up at night that is more than just, I have a thing that happens tomorrow. It's like continually keeping you up and you're thinking about it all the time. So I would say, what of all the moments we've had, where was one that you said, you know what we did in the past, we're done with that. We're not going to do that this way. We're not going to get anywhere. We've got to change. Starting today, we've got to change and implement some changes here.
I got you there. I think the moment it happened, I don't remember, Nate. We were sitting in that coffee shop. I think it was in front of Claire's. I think it was Claire's restaurant. It was me, Brendan. I want to say Paige.
Paige was there, yeah.
Yeah, and I was desperate at this point. I was on my knees, in a sense of, I don't know what's going on. And everybody kind of threw their ideas and trying, in a way, comforting me, but not really, because there is nothing really big to comfort you about. It's just not running as it should. Luckily, I still have most of you today to talk about it, but I think the moment things started to change, were the moment we kind of scaled. So we grew up real quick, right? We started small. We grew in team members extremely quickly to 18 or 20 guys at some point, like all in all, admin and field, and we cut in more than half a year later. And now I feel like the growth in manpower is upon a real demand and based on experience. I feel like now is the time to hire, not because I feel we gotta hire, because we know we gotta hire. So that's like the difference. So I think the moment was just scaling back, taking a breath, taking a payroll breath, taking a mental, personal, don't need to talk to so many people or then chase everybody to their job breath, and coming back to it with an organic team that growth is clear.
Yeah, it's interesting when we talk about it, because now you even see it throughout the path. Like, we had I don't want to say best, but our probably most knowledgeable field person who can just manage anything that gets sent his way, figures it out, can make it happen on the job site. And we had him spending half his day calling and scheduling people to move them around. And you look at it, it seems so clear and obvious now. We're like, what the heck were we doing? He's thrives in the field. He's great at it. He just solves things. People love him. Our clients love him. And we were trying to force something that wasn't working, and we were like, well, no, we're right. We're demanding it. We're forcing this. This is how it needs to be. And I think that was that shift. Right after that, it was like, okay, we need to shift this around. We're going back to the field. We're doing these things that we know work, and we know for this smaller focused amount of projects.
Ourselves. We
are.
Yeah, exactly. We had to restructure. Very happy we did that. I'm not saying that now we're in the best organization chart structure possible, but it's definitely better than what it
Oh
was,
yeah.
like 10 times better. And we know where when we need help, when and where we need help.
Yeah.
It's more clear to see.
Yeah. To me, I think the biggest difference is like we can take on large, real big, large full home remodels and not fall apart as a company. I think
No,
that's
yeah,
the shift is now it's like, huh, okay, well, we can do that
yeah,
and still do our other projects instead of
absolutely.
just like all hands on deck every single day at one. Like
Yeah,
we're able to still maintain those. And those are the things you learn. Like, how do I do 3 multi-million-dollar projects all at once?
hmm,
At the beginning, there's no way we could have done them. If we
right.
did, it would have been nightmare. Everybody just pulling their hair out.
Hmm.
But those are the things, yeah, I think that the huge difference is just taking some time to step back. And then it just goes back
The
to
structure. Yeah.
I am going to structure this so that it's quality work. And when it's quality work, you're able to get things done.
Right.
And there you go. So all those things that we would do. So what is something that we would not do? Not at all.
Personally, I'll just leave work. It's such a cliche, but I'll try and leave work at work. You know,
Mm.
I don't want it to affect my personal life, especially for whoever is listening. My wife, she's also an interior designer. She's also working with Soho and multiple projects, and it's very easy for me and her to just bring work to like home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it affected our relationship in a way that we just used to find ourselves as just talking about work over dinner every single day, and that's not how it should be. You should let yourself clear and clean and enjoy your afternoons, enjoy your early mornings, enjoy your weekends. So don't let the stress affect your personal life. Try and work that thing out. Try and create rules, create moments in time that your phone is off, that you're with your kids, you're whatever you want to do, right? You're working out, you're with your kids, you're with your friends, you're taking a walk, you're having a drink. But almost like you're answering your emails, take that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just another task.
Mm-hmm.
So stress to stay at the office. You're moving on. Nothing that's gonna happen right now should stress or affect your sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it'll hit you over time. Like
It
you
will.
do that for a month, all
Not
you
good.
you better off of just not responded to anybody that whole month and then taking your energy into the next one because you just can't last.
No.
It just can't keep going over the long term that way. So in terms of like actually systemizing things, so we've talked about that a couple times of like this is the structure, this is the system. So we have a system, we have our process in place of what we do. We work on Monday. All of our clients work on our design with us. We review them all. There's a longer process. We meet with our superintendents. Of all those things, it wasn't something that we implemented on day one. It's things that we've learned. But if you could go back to day one, what would you implement at that time? Because obviously you don't have all the superintendents, you don't have the certain things, but like what specific things would you say, okay, I have to do these things, and if I do these things, I can scale.
I'm not gonna even talk about the obvious things like softwares, right? You gotta bring tech into your business. For me, if any of our listeners is not using a software, I really encourage you to get one. You
Yeah.
know, put the time to create it and make it yours and make it and customize it to your needs. That's basic. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on the development of the software and how you use it because software can stay there and can be very not useful or not user friendly as well. I think the problem here is that we had no touch points during the week, so we had no moments in time that we must stop everything we do and talk about things in in the right order that will prevent you foresee the issue coming, foresee the problem, or streamline the process faster because one brain is cool, three brains are awesome, right? And we call it the pulse meetings, you know, and we got different way of doing it. So a pulse meeting can be can be in a uniform of we sit down, me, Nate, and the architect, for example, and we're talking about our architecture projects, making sure we're within time, within budget, right? You don't want your clients to come in and say, hey, you gave me that, you know, that bid or that contract of like 50 grand to design A, B, and C. I'm at 55 and I'm not at C. So what is going on? You want to first see that and say at B, when you're at 35K bill, say, we are anticipating the 50K to be 60 or 70, or we got an issue here. Here's the reason why. That's what drives the cost up right now. And then what you're doing here, you're pretty much you're solving you're you know you're taking so much stress off the system by getting a complaint, because once you're having a complaint, it's very hard to go over it and to build the trust again. So that's an architecture. The pulse meetings are also for marketing. So we kind of talk about marketing really briefly. It can take 15 to 30 minutes, and we kind of follow up and make sure we see growth, right? Because that's really helpful. I trust Jenny to do the best marketing as she possibly can, and we do brainstorm ideas, but the meetings are more like there is growth.
Yeah.
Here is how growth look like. Keep on going.
Yeah.
That's the measurables or whatever we need to kind of quantify is there. In construction, it's obviously a little bit more detailed. We go through schedules. We go through our in-house schedule. We discuss what cannot be done. We determine what's ASAP task and actionable items we need to take care of today, as of today. And we're doing it twice a week though, because it's a little bit more challenging. And I call it the pool. So if I can add one thing to our lives, early on it was like touching points as a team of more than one guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It needs to be 2 or 3 or more, and a couple of times a week. Gave me a lot of peace of mind. Instead of me asking a lot of questions, you're kind of answering it as we meet. So I'm kind of waiting for the meeting to get all my questions answered. But also at the same time, we're 24/7 thinking about our clients, right? Let me come up with a solution before I see the problem.
Yeah.
I see a problem coming 3 months from now. I'm already updating the client. That's what I'm saying. And here is my solution. That's way better than it should.
Yeah. That's
Here we are.
biggest thing we could say.
In the mud, trying to figure it out.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Exactly.
You expose that, get that thing dried out right away, because the longer you sit and think about it, because you'll just think about it.
It's there. It's
Yeah.
you.
It's like, okay, well, talk about it. And then
So
same
touch points
thing
on the calendar.
Yeah. It's got to be on the calendar.
Maybe
You
almost a
guys should
year.
be there. Commit to it.
Yeah.
And then also, even if there's nothing to talk about, you think I've got nothing. Something's going to happen in that meeting where some conversation comes up that you weren't going to have, that suddenly it brings up something else. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know that, or I need this instead. It always happens. So even if you think that you don't have anything to talk about, if you're running a business, you do. So
Absolutely.
especially a construction business.
Absolutely.
So some of the stuff we're going to pass through, I think on one of them is relationships with clients. When you're new, every client's brand new. You've not seen it, so you don't know the patterns of everybody yet. But I think in looking at where we're at now and building relationships with people, going back to the beginning, like how would you set that up? How would you present yourself in your client personal relationship, friendship relationship? Because you want to be friends, but there's boundaries you need to set, right? So like, what would you do going back?
I mean, I'll probably gonna try and combine how to select a client early on.
Yeah.
What should you look for? How to set boundaries, I guess. That's another way, which is very much similar to the first thing. And what kind of relationship you want to have with clients. So the thing is, if you got a process, you got to believe in your own process. You cannot sell the process if you don't believe in it. But if you believe in your process and somebody comes in and they're completely off your process, you have the duty to try and educate them and put them in the right place. That's the first time they're doing it. They don't know what to do. They're green. They're coming in. You're sitting down with them and you're explaining them about the process. You're telling them that if they will stick to your process, that's for the best interest of the project, of their property, right? Mm-hmm. You're doing it once, and then you let them be for a minute, and they come back, and you're back and forth emails, initial talks, whatever it is, and they're coming back, and they almost forgot everything you just said.
Yeah.
So you can do it one more time and be a little bit more assertive with what you're saying. But if again it doesn't click, just you don't feel like you can click, they cannot click with your process, you gotta drop it.
Yeah.
There's a certain point in time that you gotta say, that's a process, that what we offer. You're not walking into McDonald's and asking for a fresh fruit salad. That's just not the product that we're selling.
Yeah.
So, and they cannot make it for you. Okay, they're making fast food burgers.
Yeah.
That's what they make. So they're explaining at the cashier, we're not making it. Second time, we're not making it. Third time, security taking you back, taking you out. You're hallucinating right now. That's not going to work. Same in construction. They come in, you're trying to explain the process, you're going back and forth. It's not working. You got to let them go.
Yeah.
You just got to let them go with all the respect.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean it's a bad person. It doesn't mean they don't
No.
understand. It's just the way I run the company and do this a certain way, and our team works together.
We design it, we permit
Doesn't
it,
match.
we build it.
Yeah.
We cannot design it, build it. We cannot permit it, build it. We got to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or get a good set of plans we can work with.
Yeah.
If all that is missing and you're pushing me, to start this project early on, or pushing me to give you a number when I don't know what I'm building, so the process is not working.
Yeah. Because you'll that's the thing. You'll do it, you'll start it, and it won't happen every time, but one of them will either put you out of business or make you wish you never were in business when you take on those kind of projects, right? That just don't match.
No doubt.
All right, moving ahead to our marketing portion.
Yeah.
So this is kind of funny. If we were starting today,
Uh-huh.
back to the original question, where would we put and where would we spend our money on marketing?
Yeah.
Would you spend money on marketing? That was the question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to spend money on marketing. You cannot make it without marketing. It's not going to work. It's the fuel. It's the blood. That's the only thing that will feed you at the end of the day. In a person or a company that doing it full time. When we started, everybody, I tried to do a couple of things. You tried to do a couple of things. So first of all, our branding went really low because the way I market and the way you market and what you think is important and what I think is important from all different aspects are not aligned. And then also it's just you got operations comes, like sales operations comes first, and then on your free time you're doing a little bit of marketing. This is not how it should work.
Yeah.
You should have somebody doing it full time. So for us, the investment was in Jenny, in a person. Now we're starting to see the results. We're very happy with how it works. And that's my recommendation. Now, I know it's not for everybody. Not everybody got the leverage to get somebody full-time on a payroll and do marketing and also trust them. But if you don't have it, then sub it out. Find somebody that can do part-time. Find somebody that can do, again, go back to your statement. You want to do quantity, you want to do quality. What do you want to do? And let them take it from there and start telling your story.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
you're not going to be the person to do it.
Yeah, and then actually just actually budget for it. I think that's the other thing. It's like if you really just sit there and say, well, maybe I can't go buy this big tool that I wanted because short term, the pain of not having it, long term, I'll get 3-4 more projects if I just take a little bit of that money that I made on this first one and put it towards marketing myself, That's going to build you long term. If you're consistent with that and continually doing that and really just saying, this money, I'm going to act like I never even had it because I know I need to do this marketing. Like, you will grow. People will find you. People will talk to you, especially if the stuff that's free is go talk to designers, go talk to contractors, go talk to architects. Yeah. Just go talk to them. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Like, that kind of stuff is probably the most powerful marketing. And
if
honestly,
you don't have that bone in your body, then you got to have somebody to do it for you. So somebody needs to somebody needs to kind of draw the path on how you do marketing in your company. It can be your ideas, and somebody got to execute them on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah. Stick to it, execute it. You will grow. Yeah. Okay. So wrapping up on our conversation here, essentially going back to the beginning, everything we kind of talked about today is stuff that we've actually done, experienced, which is nice. It's like, it's real. It works. We get to the point where we're business is running and operating. I think we are very lucky that, we have a great team. We found great people. It did take a long time and working and communicating and figuring out who do we need and who are good fits and going through 1,000 LinkedIn and Indeed applicants to try to figure out like who fits this team well. And I think if you decide on what your business is going to be and who you want to be, and if you try to find people that fit that mold and match it and try it out, I think that's honestly your best bet, because you have a team that supports you and understands your idea, and eventually you guys will learn together and grow and figure this thing out. I think that's really the key. If I go back, like, just get those right people there.
A players.
Yeah, players, and then find the seat that
what
fits.
they do. They gotta love what they do. You
Yeah.
cannot train. From an orange tree. Gil's always tell me you're not gonna find an apple falling from an orange tree.
Yeah,
that's not how it works. You gotta look for the right fruit.
Yeah.
Very very. We're rapping and saying we're still it's almost Japanese, this profession. You're a student of the profession. It's gonna be you're gonna be a student for the rest of your life. And if you lost that spark, and if you're saying I'm not a student anymore, I figured it out, you just don't know what you're doing. I can tell you that you're or very fresh in the industry, or you're just done.
Yeah, you've plateaued.
Exactly. It's or 1 or 10.
Yeah,
You got to be somewhere in between. Always say, I got to keep on growing.
Yeah, because if not, someone's coming right behind you who they're going to take it.
Dude. It's competitive. It is a competitive industry. Construction is all over. You got to build. You got to keep on building. People needs you. But we're in San Diego. San Diego is packed with great companies that are doing great jobs. And if you want to stand above the rest, you got to have A players, and you got to keep on learning.
Yeah.
Never stop.
No, exactly.
Right.
All right. So on to my favorite topic. Favorite segment of the show is our Build It or Bag It. Today's topics, we've got waterfall islands, colorful cabinetry, and large format tiles. Interesting one. Okay. Waterfall islands. I'm so split on this one because we've installed a lot of waterfall islands, and we've installed a lot of cabinetry. And I've seen a lot of people get very creative with having half the countertop blend into the cabinet wood that goes along the side of the waterfall. But at the end of the day, like, maybe this is why we're not interior designers.
I mean, I just don't mind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. It's cold on my leg. That's great. I don't have a
opinion on waterfall islands. We can move on.
Okay. I don't like really thick ones that are rough. That's my opinion on it.
Okay.
I like a nice thin, nice trim. Colorful cabinetry, and I'm assuming this means painted cabinetry in different colors. That really has to depend on. Yeah, it really I think depends on the design of the house, because I feel like you can't have like a kind of Mediterranean coastal house and then suddenly say, I've got bright pink cabinets, like there has to be some sort of blend. You got to pick one or the other. If you're gonna be colorful, it's gotta be colorful all over.
Kitchen, no. Kitchen, keep it classic. I mean, try and go with wood, go with stain. I think it's timeless. I think it's more soft on your eyes. If you got like other rooms that you want to play with, a cool powder room, a cool laundry room, you can do a little bit of it. Not too much. I mean, you gotta love it every single day and not just one day. And colors are one day in trend, one day they got old and it's not interesting anymore and not nice anymore and just not in trend anymore, while wood is always trendy. It's a natural material. I prefer that.
Yeah. No, that's her. Yeah, because I mean, you paint your kitchen yellow when it's cold in winter. That yellow doesn't feel quite the same. Maybe you're just like, oh, it's my sunshine, but yeah, I don't know. I like stained, and yeah, I agree. Yeah. This one's kind of interesting. So large format tiles. I'm gonna say this is like very large tiles. We're talking about things that I'm talking about. I don't know if you saw Jack's Ketterman's tiles that were like 6 feet by 6 feet, massive tiles. I think that's what I'm thinking here. I know obviously large formats you can be up to like 2 feet. That's kind of normal, but I'm thinking like big, like you would see in a hotel almost, or like a big large.
I like those. I mean, I don't like big tile like hotel tiles, but I'm not against big format tile. I think what we did at Pollux, it's really beautiful. I'm still gonna go for wood flooring if I can.
Yeah, I love wood floor. They're great.
That's
so
like a great
I think large format tile I would do on a patio. I think that would be fine. Like in place of pavers, like. I think that would be a good look, especially around a pool.
The waterfalls, nice. We bag it and then we pack it.
Sorry, we bagged it. I'm bagging it.
Or not?
Colorful, we're in the laundry room maybe. Large format tiles outside. Give me wood. Build it with wood, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been the Builder's Blueprint podcast. I am Nate, and this has been here with Soho Construction. Go ahead and follow us or give us a like where you're listening to us.
Weekend.
Have a great weekend,
And we're
and we will
celebrating,
see
by the
you.
way, we're having our third annual dinner today. Nate, is that your third or fourth?
This is my fourth, I think.
Fourth.
One wasn't annual; it was just a dinner, and then we just said, "Now we're doing
You
it."
remember better than I do. But here we are celebrating our third or fourth annual formal dinner, which is kind of came in a habit, and we're very excited about it. Kind of
The original was every October we're going to have a dinner, and then it turned to maybe we'll do it in December, and now we're in January and we're having our annual dinner. I love it.
You're right. I'm just trying to get everybody in. And it's if we all continue that way, it's just every 10 years we're getting one free.
There we go. There we go. All right. Talk to you guys later, everyone.
Thanks.